Welcome to part 9, block versus inline elements. So all HTML elements are classified as either block or inline. So what are block elements? Block elements are placed on a new line of their own. They're always placed on a new line. Their width is as wide as the screen or of their parent if it's a nested element. Now inline elements remain in the current line and their width is only as wide as is necessary to fit in that line. So as usual, these will make more sense once we see some examples. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this HTML code block right here and look at how it rendered. So we have an H3 element over here. It is placed on its own line. Following it is a paragraph element, and we can see it is also placed on its own line. So it looks like right now the header is a block element. That means it's placed on a line. The paragraph comes, a paragraph of text is placed on its own line over here. Then we have the next line of code has two paragraph elements in it. It says another paragraph and then yet another paragraph. And we look at how it's rendered. They're rendered on their own individual line. So this must mean that the paragraph element is a block element, not inline, because they are always rendered on their own line. That's what block means. It's on their own line. Okay, let's keep on going. So let's take a look at this code right here. There's a paragraph element with a link inside of it. So here is the anchor tag right here. And so this is what is an example of an inline element. So it does not break to its a new line. It stays in the current line. Okay, so if it was a paragraph element, then it would be broken into a new line. So let's take a look at this one. This one is kind of interesting. This is a paragraph element that has an H2 header element in its content. So it's actually nested inside of here. But since a header is a block level element, you can see how it renders a paragraph with, and then some header is on its own line, and then it continues on a separate line in it to finish off the paragraph element. So the header is a block level element, which has to be placed on its own line, and then the content before and after the header are also placed on its own line. Now, how about images? This is another paragraph element, so it is on its own line. Now, so images, we place two images in a row of our dashboard over here. And you should see that these are inline elements because they're placed on the same line. They're not placed on a separate line. So it doesn't matter how many of these images we create, they're all going to be placed on the same line because they have this, they have an inline, they're inline elements. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a good idea of which elements are inline and which ones are block. I have put a list down here of some common block elements. So the headers, the paragraph, a table, unordered list, ordered list, list items, a div. These are all block level elements. They are always placed on their own line unless we style it with some CSS. So we'll see that coming up. But that's their default, display setting is block. The inline elements are things such as an anchor tag, so the hyperlink creation, images, some things that affect the type of text, so strong, like usually this creates text that is bold. Mark creates highlighted text. Code creates like inline code, like if you're writing code inline, it'll use some font that's more appropriate for writing computer code. Okay, so that's hopefully that helps you distinguish between block and inline elements. And this is a very important this is a very important thing to distinguish when creating HTML, because you have to know, all right, is my element going to be on a new line or is it going to be in the same line? So make sure you know whether you have a block level element or an inline level element.